That was an incredible second-half performance. What did you do to put that in?
I think we're stuck with it. I think a few times this season we've gone to go down, and I think against Palace we went to go down and we didn't quite react in the right way. And I think today we did just that. Like I said, we've done it a few times this season, and we always believe we can score many goals with the way that we play. So it all came together today in the second half, and it was a great result.
What needed to change after a first half that didn't go your way?
I think just adapting a bit to the way that they was playing. It was quite difficult in the first half, but obviously at half time we had time to regroup and discuss what we can do better, and I think we exploited that in the second half.
Your manager has said you're not just judged on your goals, but you must be really pleased to get the two you did today.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's been a few games without one now, so been trying to get that goal, and I managed to get two today, so buzzing with it.
The finish for the first one as well.
Yeah, nice little dink finish. I enjoy those ones.
Do you feel you've got great support around you as well in terms of setting up chances?
Yeah, for sure. Like I mentioned, I think when we're playing well, we can score many goals. I think today showed that, but we've done it numerous times this season. So like I mentioned, with the way that we play, it's a joy.
And this performance backs up the win in midweek. Is finding the consistency of performance now what's going to be crucial going forward?
Yeah, I think that's spot on, really. I think we've had some great games, but we haven't quite managed to do it the whole season, which we think we're capable of. So that's something that we need to try to put right in the future.
Well done today. You were the player of the match.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Top man.
And we'll talk more about Dominic Solanke and look at his goals in just a second. But Spurs got themselves going in that second half with a goal from Brennan Johnson. It's 7-11 from him. But was it all about the ball from Son?
Absolutely. Brilliant reaction from Spurs, and they needed to score early in the second half. And the delivery is just absolutely fantastic. Yeah, there's some question Villa's defending. But once Son gets it, someone's got to get tired because we know his quality. And Johnson just drifts in at the back like all good wide players do. But the delivery, absolutely fantastic. Almost impossible to defend once it leaves his foot. Brilliant goal. And Spurs, great reaction from Spurs, I have to say, they've played some beautiful football.
And knowing what he can do, brave decision from manager Postecoglou to take him off. He wasn't happy about it, Son. But then there were 3 more goals in Tottenham's locker. Dominic Solanke got the first of his to make it 2-1.
Yeah, and I think sometimes you're weakest when you're trying to counter and then the ball breaks again. I think Tottenham do well. And this is nice play. We're not sure whether Brennan Johnson means to set that for the pass through, but I think it works out. A perfect pass through, as I say. They're Aston Villa, sometimes you're not kind of organised. I think they're going to counter-attack. Tottenham are good at this, playing sort of vertical, quick combinations through the middle of the pitch. And I love this run. That diagonal pass and diagonal run. It's really hard to deal with, and then the finish. I think the keeper kind of makes his mind up slightly on it, but it's a great finish.
They did this better as well, second half. Basuma getting up to the ball, perhaps Sarr there, going to win it. And all of a sudden you're at an Aston Villa defence, it's all over the place. Sarr picks out the right pass, as does Richarlison, and Solanke gets his rewards. He gets in the box. Get into that 6-yard box, you're going to get goals. But he hasn't scored of late, but that was a big one for them. But the second half, they were just so much better, so much more aggressive. They're a joy to watch.
A joy to watch and a joy for Dominic Solanke. The manager said it's not just about goals, but great for him to get 2 of them in this game. And look at this from James Maddison. We knew he was going to get minutes, but he came on with 10 minutes to go. Well, 10 minutes of time to go before the 10 minutes were added and got this free kick.
But he's got this in his locker. Obviously, the game's over there at this stage. But for him to come on, a good reaction from me. Would have been disappointed to be left out. Lovely finish, and we've seen him do that many times before. He does have that technique.
It's great. I think it's great for the manager when he gets a performance like that in the second half. The goal scorer they brought in the summer for a big amount has scored his 2 goals. Maddison, who's been slightly in and out, and he wants to keep him involved because he knows what he can do for him, comes on and gets that. So it ended up a really good afternoon.
Well, he certainly did regroup in the second half, Tim. And what a start. 4 minutes in with the equaliser. Perfect.
It really was. But I think they're always going to be a threat. I think never get their head down, Tottenham. And no matter how the game's going, I just always feel like they're going to score goals. We've got so many attacking players, and Son does brilliantly here, and the delivery's fantastic. And just drifts on the blind side of Digne. He doesn't even see him. You see him here. He's got Pedro Porro. So all he's worried about here, and he's just focused on him. He hasn't even seen Johnson behind him. He's continually looking at Porro there. You see his body shape's all wrong. Sonny's doing his work on the other side of the pitch. He just sneaks in behind him. Not once has he seen him. He sees him at the wrong time when he's celebrating. That's when he sees him. That's the first time. And then he throws his arms up and down and tries to blame someone else. So it's really good for Johnson. I admire him. You know, he took a lot of stick, especially from a lot of Tottenham fans as well, online. And he's just dug in, he's come offline, he's rolled his sleeves up, he's worked hard in training, and he's got his rewards on the pitch. He's a prolific goal scorer for Tottenham now. He's a real goal threat.
7 in 11 for Brennan Johnson. Interesting managerial tweak then. We saw Son get the assist. Ange Postecoglou then took Son off. And then they scored 3. We weren't too happy about it at the time, Graham, was he? You have to make these big calls, you managers, I guess.
Exactly, yeah. And it's fine when you win the game in the end, then you're a genius. But I'd say that's to deal with it. He's not happy. You wouldn't want him to be happy either, to be fair. But that's a frustrated player. But in the end, he'll be happy that the team's won. I'm pretty sure, because Tim will know he's a top player, top person. Ultimately, wants the team to do well. Yeah. And they didn't miss him, really, because they just went from strength to strength, didn't they?
No, you could argue they probably got a little bit better when they went off. But I thought Solanke was brilliant, really top-class centre-forward performance. Never stops running, never stops working. Great little bit of move, great pass from Kulusevski as well, and the finishes. It's brilliant. As you see, this is something he did all game, Solanke. He was up and down, working hard for his team, starting the press. And then he doesn't stop moving, as I say, when he's hungry for a goal. It's a great little bit of move. I love the pass from Kulusevski, great angle, great run from Solanke, and a lovely finish to go with it.
And soon after, it was 3.
Nearly a smile there, wasn't it, from Ange? He's pleased for Dominic. If anyone he needed to score, it was Dominic Solanke, and a square ball from Torres there. And then you're under pressure. The timing of Sarr's pass into Richarlison, who pulls his hamstring, crossing that one. And Dominic, we're going to just highlight Torres' pass. He knows it's a basic error. I mean, that ball wasn't great, and this was horrendous. And he gets cut out there. Just look at Tielemans' pull there, Solanke. Just pulls him back, and we feel that it just holds him back. So it opens up the space, because we think if he was allowed to carry on running, he might run behind Torres and wouldn't have received the pass. And then it was just all up to put the icing on the cake for Maddison, who comes on for 10 minutes, wouldn't have been happy sitting on a bench. But all you can do is affect the game when you come on, Graham.
Absolutely. And that's what Ange will be delighted with. His substitutions have made an impact when they've come on. Richarlison's produced something for an assist for a goal, and Maddison's coming in the end, and the old icing on the cake at the end. Nice goal for him, 4-1. Everybody's smiling.
Look, nearly a smile. Look.
And a hug.
It's all part of the master plan, mate. Don't worry.
I guess, just about all of it. You're playing a top team, and you know, with Villa that they're always going to have a real strong performance, because they're very, very consistent. They really have off days, and you've got to be ready for that. And, I thought we had to match it with them in the first half. We had to sort of draw on their energy and make them work really hard. And, obviously we conceded a goal, but I still felt like we'd made them work really hard in that first half. And, the thing with us is we got another gear in us, 2 or 3 gears, and we keep going. And, we felt like we could really sort of break them open in the second half if we just really stayed focused on making sure the football was up-tempo and there was intensity in the game. And, credit to the players, after a massive effort on Wednesday night, that physically they did it again. I guess it's my point from 7 days ago, is that you don't fall off cliffs and you don't climb mountains within a week. It's all part of the same process for me. We're going to have bumps along the way. It's how you address them, how you cope with them, how you rebound and learn from them. That's the key thing. And we had a disappointing day last Sunday, but we knew coming in on Monday. We had 2 big games this week, really important games. So no points feeling sorry for ourselves. We had to come in and get our heads straight and work back towards being the team we want to be. And that's what happened. But it doesn't mean that that's the end of it now. It's still, we still got to push on. We still got to get better. We still got to improve and keep pushing on. He was never going to play more than that today, Tom, because obviously he'd had an injury, came back, and last time it was around the 60-minute mark where he kind of got fatigued last time, so he was never going to play more than sort of 55, 60, respective of what the game was going. the great thing was he made a pretty important contribution before that. With a great ball in for our first goal and got our equaliser. So, again, we've got more battles ahead and we're going to need him, and, he's never going to play any more than that.
Did you just seem a little surprised when he came off? Were you okay with his reaction? Did you explain to him as he came off?
No, I didn't see any difference in Sonny. I'd be surprised if any player likes coming off when they're feeling all right, but no, I didn't need to discuss it with him, and, like I said, for us, what's more important is the overall picture.
With Dominic Solanke, you said before the game.
2 shots on target, mate.
Yeah. You said that you had full faith in him. Did that underline exactly?
No, it had nothing to do with that, as I said during the week. I just think, the enormous effort he put in on Wednesday night to help us win a game of football, like not just physically but mentally, and his capacity to just help the team in any way again he can, to back that up today with such a massive effort again against a pretty difficult team to play against in that sense, just unbelievable. And the goals are great, and of course, as a striker, I'm sure that's he loves the fact that he can score a couple of goals, but even if he didn't, again, I just can't speak highly enough of what he's contributing to our team at the moment, and long may he continue, because with him playing that way, it just makes us a better team. George.
How impressed were you with how the physical and mental effort of the players, how much it was against?
Yeah, enormous. Obviously we made 2 or 3 changes, but still, when you consider it was, a big physical toll on Wednesday night, and we're obviously a goal down at half time. It can easily play on your mind, but I never sensed that at the break. The players were really determined to go out there again. They couldn't wait to get back out on the pitch and start playing again, and raising the tempo, raising the intensity, credit to them. Like I said, it's not easy. We work hard, obviously, to get them to those levels, but you still need the mental capacity to push yourself to those levels. Sometimes it's easy to leave that in reserve, but they left nothing in the tank Wednesday night. They left nothing in the tank tonight.
Wednesday and today together, does this feel like one of your best weeks?
If you don't include last Sunday, you're saying? Yeah, okay, yeah, because that's a week, really, technically. It doesn't affect me, really. It doesn't. I'm totally focused on the long game here of who we want to be, and the little bumps along the road hurt, but you kind of know that that's part of our growth, and the good performances and the good moments are there for our growth as well, because you've got to deal with both, I think, in the same way, with your eyes sort of firmly fixed ahead on where you're heading. George. Yeah, I know Richie obviously felt something sort of in the action of setting the goal up with his hamstring, so we'll see. And Romero, it was in that challenge again. He felt his foot sore, so I don't have any sort of further information. Obviously, he's a pretty tough cookie for him to come off. He must be sore, but look, it's not ideal. But again, it's another game where we've had to reshuffle our back line. I mean, Rado's played left centre back, right centre back, left centre back, right centre back. Ben Davies has had to come in at different times, with Destiny midweek, and the boys are handling it really well. Like I said, it's not ideal, but hopefully, both are not too serious. Ali.
I just wanted to ask you about Pat Massar. He's worked his way back into the starting lineup again, and it feels like he's growing with each match.
They're never out of my lineup. I mean, it's just different sort of challenges along the way. But I think he's probably played as much as anyone last year. I rate him so highly, and his capacity again to work for the team, but also the quality he has in breaking open oppositions with his running with the ball. I knew he'd be important today, because they've got such a hard-working midfield with Anana, Tillemans. You've got McGinn in there, Rogers. I mean, they don't really play with wide players, so they work awfully hard in that midfield area, and you've got to match that. You're never going to break them open unless you do that. And I thought, he just put in another enormous effort, along with Rodri and Biss when he came on, and Decky, of course. Yeah, really proud of the lads. It was an important day for us today because, it's also the birthday of the late Hugo Ehiog, and he had a big influence on Matty Wells here at the club. I know he played for Villa, but he was obviously a coach at our football club, and Matty spoke really strongly about him. And I think, when you hear things like that and how people affect, your life, I think it helps give clarity to the players about what we're trying to do here. And, obviously for his wife and his son, obviously probably a tough day, but hopefully they get a little bit of, cheer from the fact that, Wellesley, really made a real important sort of point that, he may be gone, but he's not forgotten.
Matt, and then finish with Bruce, please.
Two questions, just to pick up on that first of all. When you say Matt made that point, do you mean some sort of address to the players?
Yeah, he just spoke about him, yeah. During the week, just spoke about him during the week, and we mentioned him today because obviously it was, would have been his birthday today, and like I said, I mean, you don't dismiss those kind of things because he was with our football club when he sadly passed away. So it's important that their memory lives on.
And then one of my actual questions would be, last season it came down basically to Spurs and Villa, the Champions League place. Do you think the field's going to be wider this season? As we've got Bournemouth picking up results with Brighton, we've got Chelsea looking like they're stronger. Do you expect a wider, stronger field in that sort of race this season?
Yeah, potentially. I don't spend too much time thinking about it, but it looks like there's a lot more sort of congestion in terms of the field itself. Some of that I think is just the attrition rate of players at the moment, which is making it hard for teams to kind of get into sort of some smooth water, so to speak. But we're all having to deal with it, I guess. So that's part of it. But the table only is important for me at the end of the year. While we're sort of running in the race, you're not really looking. I don't like looking either side of me. I keep saying to the players, if I was a racehorse and I'm not, it'd be one with blinkers, mate. Just looking at the finish line.
Bruce, to finish, please.
I think that's right. I don't even know about horse racing. I talk about stuff I don't know about. Anyway, go on, sorry.
You face a team like Villa that's so potent from set pieces, so creative. Do you spend extra time during the week preparing for that in a way that you wouldn't for most teams?
No, because I think then you fall into the trap of, again, preparing differently. And I've always said that we prepare the same for every game. There's obviously, we know the strengths and kind of areas where they could hurt us. Look, we conceded from a set piece, but I know I'm on my own in this. I don't like them. To me, I think I mentioned in the TV interview, it looks like a scrum. I just don't think that's what football's about, but it's part of football these days where you can just drop a ball in the box and people can fight over it. So disappointing for us to concede from that. But in general, I thought we handled their set pieces really well. They are very good at set pieces, and I thought we handled it really well. And it was great for us again to score another one from an attacking set piece. We're scoring goals from different areas, so that's important.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Alexis Nunes alongside Janusz Mihalik, a busy day of some interesting matchups in the Premier League. Janusz, let's get right into the first one, which is Spurs up against Aston Villa and Postecoglou up against Unai Emery. Very interesting matchup, but it's Spurs that yet again this week come away with another big scalp. They knocked Manchester City out of the League Cup earlier this week, and this time they came from behind against Aston Villa at home to thrash them 4-1, a game which honestly, Janusz, 60, 70 minutes in, I don't think I saw 4-1 at the end of it, but that's exactly what happened. Would you say this is a statement win from Spurs?
Well, I don't know about statement. I think we need some stability. We all know that Spurs have been excellent at home, right, so far, but certainly up and down. Maybe in the first half, not the spectacle that we expected for sure, but I think tactically was excellent, and maybe that's why I'm surprised why Villa lost by such a big margin, right? Because I think in the first half. I mean, it was, I was thinking you got to be showing, the tactics of Unai Emery in coaching schools. I mean, it was absolutely excellent. Not that they've done anything going forward, but defensively, I mean, they were so well organized, executed the game plan, biding their time. And of course, that goal came in on a set piece because, as I've said, they haven't done all that much. So, surprising result in the end, I suppose. But I think we're looking at two teams that kind of want to permanently be in the top six and maybe even top four. We know, of course, Villa have been up there.
And I have to obviously ask you again about the tactics, because just be honest with me, Janusz, when Ange Postecoglou started making changes for Spurs, for example, taking off Sonny, bringing on the likes of Richarlison, even Sonny himself was surprised after he, had a huge part to play in that equalizing goal. What did you make of it? And just showing that Ange, he's a man that is ready to make the big decisions no matter what. And this time he got them right.
Yeah, a couple of things about that. I mean, let's face it, Matty Cash was absolutely excellent. I mean, Heung Son was non-existent in the first half. Matty Cash was, as we saw, very, very close to him. Matty Cash himself got injured. In the second half, of course, that cross came in. Matty Cash maybe could have pressured that. I'm not, I don't know if I put it on him in terms of that goal alone, but I could understand why he did that, because Son, coming off injury, was ineffective in the first half. And also, I think it's just part of keeping him safe, right? And as we saw, everything was right. There was a number of different substitutions. We saw Richarlison himself. Was injured. But I think, I was surprised a little bit not to see Bissouma, but then he came in, he played a part. You look at Maddison, who certainly was benched because he wasn't very good in the previous games. He comes in and he scores from a free kick as well. So I think all the substitutions, at least on the part of Ange Postecoglou, were spot on.
Spot on indeed. I was wondering if John Duran was going to do something, because we always know exactly what he's capable of coming off of the bench. But let's talk about the goals specifically for Spurs right now, especially Dominic Solanke, who in the last couple of games, I think in the last 4 or 5, he hadn't even managed a shot on target, I think, since Spurs' thrashing of Manchester United, which now seems like many moons ago for some of us. But now he got two brilliant goals as well. Exactly what you kind of want from your number 9. Is it just a matter of finally getting back in the mix and that confidence? And now do you expect him to be back to the Dominic Solanke we saw before that little drought?
Well, it's a funny world, isn't it? How that goes? Because you're right. I mean, just as much as Spurs needed that win, I think, to keep up, Dominic Solanke needed it. I think hasn't scored in 8 straight in all competitions. So, obviously coming on the heels of Harry Kane, that's never easy. We've seen about players. I was looking Bournemouth against Manchester City yesterday, right? I mean, there's Solanke with so many goals leaving, and you have Evan Nielsen and you have Semenyo who've picked up the slack and continue the excellence that is Bournemouth these days. But for him, of course, it's always important. That first goal was excellent. Not so much even on Solanke, the little clip, but the ball from Dejan Kulusevski was spectacular. It's a simple ball, it seems, but when you look closer, the weight of the ball, the side of the defender that he put it on, where Solanke didn't even have to take a touch on that one. Goalkeeper already committed, and not just any goalkeeper, one of the best out there. So yes, I mean, you take that. Of course, the second one tap in, but he had to get there, and you could see that he was motoring to make sure that he puts that away from Richarlison, who pulled a hamstring while giving him the pass. So yeah, as a striker, I suppose, not that I would know because I've never been one, but games like these go a long, long way, because Spurs are going to need Dominic Solanke that's scoring goals consistently, and not like he wasn't scoring in the last 8 games, as I've mentioned.
And now the commentators, I suppose, were slightly joking with Unai Emery at the end, saying that he looked like he just saw a ghost. You go from absolute jubilation in the first half to literally looking like he saw a ghost. And we know this is a man that has it all up here. He is a brilliant tactician, brilliant manager. But after a performance and result like the one he saw today, what questions will we have? Does this pretty much just show that for all Aston Villa have accomplished under him in such short a time, they still are a work in progress?
They absolutely are, and it just goes to show how difficult it is to juggle, 2 seasons like that. I mean, here we are, Villa at the top of the league in the Champions League, beating Bayern Munich, and last 5 games, 3 draws and a loss for Aston Villa. And by the way, it's not like they played badly, as you've mentioned. I mean, the first half, I thought to myself, this is just an incredible performance, because you're going away to Spurs. You know it's never going to be easy. I've mentioned that home form of Spurs. I think everything was near perfect, because as much as Spurs had all the ball, they weren't creating much, and that organization, as I mentioned, and execution was perfect. And that just 3-4 minutes into the second half, that equalizer, I think, you saw Villa coming undone. So it's a tough one. I think the Villa fans and Unai Emery will know that, and you pay the price for all that. I think you really do. So I think we're going to see Villa back at their best, but I just think that, Champions League, the way they've been playing, and Premier League, it's not easy. That squad is good, but it's not as deep as Unai Emery would like to have it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Janusz. Absolutely. Always a pleasure. 3 of the top 5 going into this Premier League weekend now have been beaten. Huge chance for Chelsea to get into the top 4. They're getting ready to face off against Manchester United in what is going to be yet another interesting post-Eric Ten Hag matchup. Janusz and I have to go watch that. So we're going to go, and we'll be back here on ESPN FC to break that one down.
We're live. Join us.